Gosh, it is hot out. What's going on, guys? Chris here. Welcome back to another video, and today I have something very exciting. I've been a photographer for years, and honestly, it gets kind of stale over time. Taking the same kind of pictures with the same kind of gear kind of makes the whole process feel very repetitive until about now. I recently purchased the Ricoh GR III with the built-in ND filters inside, and I have fallen in love with photography again. I've known I wanted a point-and-shoot camera for a long period of time, mainly because I don't really like the pictures that come out of the iPhone. Also, I take a bunch of pictures with my phone and then never look at them again. So I wanted something that could take very high quality pictures that I would actually look at and maybe post on Instagram. I was considering getting the Ricoh GR III, but then I looked at the price and I'd probably be quite afraid to take it with me everywhere I go. So I was looking around, I was looking at Fujifilm, even Canon, the G7X series. I did a review on one of those before. But then I settled with the Ricoh GR III, and it's definitely not settling because this camera is a beast. If you're wondering why it looks a little bit different, it's because I attached this adapter with a 49mm thread with a ProMist filter, and then I attached a hood onto that. I'll link this in the description. I actually really like it because it protects the elements, as well as it allows me to have mist, because I think this camera paired with some diffusion, some mist, looks great. I actually have the notes of this video handwritten because I'm tired of using my phone. I use it all the time during work, and I feel like handwriting them just makes it more intimate and I remember more of the things I'm supposed to say. Anyways, let's talk about the body. The body is very lightweight, even though it does feel solid. It's a hard-ish plastic, but it doesn't feel cheap. All the buttons feel great, and that was one of the first things I noted in the hand. It feels really good. I do know some people get the thumb rest that you can get for these types of point-and-shoot cameras, as well as maybe even a battery grip to extend this part, because yeah, your pinky's gonna dangle off. But personally, I think I like the size. I already added this piece here, which makes it even bigger than it's supposed to be. So for me, the body is perfect. Like, I can keep it in my pocket and I don't really notice. Keeping it on my wrist like this is very comfortable to walk around, and I, kind of grab it, turn it on, and then take pictures quite quickly. I really like the touchscreen that comes on it. It's very responsive, it's very clear. I do say that the colors are a bit off. It's kind of hard to predict how the picture's actually gonna look, but whenever I send the pictures over to my phone, they look great and the color is great based on the recipe I've created. And we'll get into recipes in a little bit, because that is one of the main reasons this camera is just fantastic. Another thing I really liked is the UI. Going through the menus is very simple, it's very intuitive, it's very responsive. It kind of feels like a Blackmagic camera in the sense that everything's very clear and where I would want it in terms of finding settings and all that. And the touchscreen, again, is very great. It feels like an iPhone screen and has that, that fluidity that I really like. And it makes it feel like a modern day camera, which is something that I really enjoy. The next thing let's talk about is the lens. Now, if I take off the hood here, this is what the actual lens looks like. It is an 18mm f2.8, but since this is APS-C, this is closer to about 24mm, which is my favorite focal length by far. And I love it for, close-up shots like this, or even portraits look great, landscapes. Everything for me looks good at 24. It is definitely my favorite focal length, and I miss having the Sigma Art 24 1.4 that I used to use on the Canon R5. So yeah, also this lens is extremely sharp. When I crop into these pictures, the JPEGs, they look so crispy. Images never look soft if you nail focus. And I honestly find myself using the diffusion a lot to make it look even softer, because sometimes it can be a little too sharp. Also, the fact that this has built-in ND filters is very convenient, because when shooting outdoors, the shutter speed only goes up to 1/2500, so it's not a super fast shooting camera. So in bright days like today, since I always shoot at f2.8, I definitely need to use the built-in NDs, and it comes in handy. It's actually great. And when I bought this, I was like, oh shoot, there's the version that comes with diffusion built in that you can toggle on and off like NDs. After having used it, I definitely would need the NDs for how much I shoot wide open outdoors, so I'm glad I went for the version with NDs. Also, it is stabilized, so I can shoot handheld and not really worry about motion blur, and that's just a convenient thing. I don't really notice it. I don't think I have a very steady hand, and I'm used to cameras that are already stabilized, so I don't really notice it, but it is stabilized, so handheld shooting is better. The next thing we're going to talk about is the autofocus. Now, the autofocus is not as good as my R5 or any current mirrorless camera. It's good for single point autofocus. Sometimes it can track a face, but it's not really meant for anything fast moving, and I don't recommend it for that. It's great for, you know, landscapes or a person, like a portrait you can do if the person stays relatively still. It does have eye and face autofocus, but I don't know, I'm used to the one in the Canon R5, so this does feel quite a bit slower. So I think for a point and shoot, it works pretty well. The touchscreen is great for selecting a focus point and then snapping a shot, but I don't recommend this for any sports photography or any fast moving subjects because it's not going to get the focus all the time. And before we get to the most important part, which is the image, I want to talk about the fact that it has this Wi-Fi feature that I've programmed to this button right here. So if I press and hold this, the Wi-Fi comes on in the camera and my phone immediately connects and makes it super fast in terms of transferring photos, especially the JPEGs when I want to post something quickly. And I found myself, instead of posting Instagram stories from my phone, I take it with this, and then within 30 seconds I can have it on my phone ready to post with the look that comes out of this camera, the recipe, and I really like that, and it's something that I've integrated into my workflow, and it doesn't feel like it's slowing me down that much, and I like it a lot because the images that come out of this look so much better than the ones that come out of my phone. I know it has so much more personality with that bigger sensor and the color. So let's talk about that. So in terms of the image is extremely sharp. As I said, the lens is great. Dynamic range is pretty good. It's a lot better than I expected it to be, but again, this is an APS-C sensor, so this is a pretty large sensor for the size camera it is. I have created this recipe that I found through YouTube and kind of mixing it up myself that gives images with this certain look, and it has this film look that pushes colors in specific directions, and the JPEG images have this recipe, this look that I absolutely love. But at the same time, you can shoot RAW, so often I shoot JPEG plus RAW, and I can have a uncolored RAW file if I want to edit the pictures later on. But after having this camera for weeks, I've yet to edit a RAW photo because I love the JPEGs. I love how fast the process is. For me, it's always kind of annoying, the process of taking quick pictures with my R5. It's big, it's heavy, it's expensive. I take a picture and it's a heavy RAW file that I have to put into Lightroom and color grade a specific way, and then you transfer it to wherever I want to post it. With this, the JPEGs that come straight out look great, and I can just post it immediately or send it to someone immediately. And that has caused me to take hundreds of pictures with this camera within having it for like 3 or 4 days. I've had it for a while now, and I haven't used it the past few days because I've been really focused on work, but when I got this, the first 4 days I must have taken 500, 600, 700 pictures, and not even burst, you know, just taking single pictures like that, just because I have it with me all the time. Even when I'm shooting with my R5, I can just keep this on my wrist, and if I want, I put my R5 down, take this out, and then snap a couple pictures. And I think that's what this is great for. It's great for capturing memories, moments. People are less intimidated by this. If I need someone to take a picture of me, I can easily have them take a picture of me with this because it's not overwhelming like the R5 is. It's super lightweight and the pictures just look so good. So hopefully this video is informative to you. I'll link it down in the description below, as well as the accessories I bought for it. I definitely did get a screen protector because it doesn't flip in or out or anywhere, so I can, you know, more comfortably toss it in my bag. And I'll link the mist filter I use because I think it looks great, and I feel like this is just a great camera just to have in your camera bag, and I feel like you will use this more than you expect, because I definitely use this a lot more than I expected. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.